What's going on, guys? It's Mike here from Team Hoon, and today I'll be going through a combo with my Rokket Dragonmaid deck, which I used to get top 4 at a regional in New Zealand. And essentially what you're trying to do is you want to end on Heretic Seal that bounces into Goliath, or floats into Goliath, and is protected by Barolo Savage or Hope Harbinger. Now what that essentially does is that your opponent will be locked out of their issue deck, meaning that for the most part they can't really play the game. Now to do this combo you only really need 2 cards, which I'll show you in a minute. And if you can open the 2-card combo alongside an extender, which is in the form of Rokket Tracer or a way into searching Rokket Tracer, you will end on Heretic Seal, Hope Harbinger, and the Barolo Savage, meaning that you've got 3 levels of disruption, and you can protect your Goliath, and you can protect essentially your entire board in multiple different ways. Now at its core it is more of a Rokket combo deck, but the fact that Dragonmaids are dragons and they do have a lot of consistency cards means that it is quite easy to kind of get going with the combo, meaning that it is a little bit more harder to stop. And if they do stop the Dragonmaid section of the combo at the start, if you do open the Rokket part, then you can still continue playing, at least for the most part. So anyway, I'll get right into it. Alright, cool. So just like I explained at the start of the video, this combo only really needs 2 cards, either Kitchen Dragonmaid or Parlor Dragonmaid. If you open one of those 2 plus any kind of monster reborn, so this is essentially the Dragonmaid equivalent of monster reborn, you can do the forward combo, and it essentially ends on a Scythe plus a negate, so your opponent is pretty much not playing and you can go full ham. So to begin with, we want to normal summon Kitchen. Use Kitchen's effect. Now her effect is to add a Dragonmaid and send the Dragonmaid from your hand to the graveyard after doing the search. So we want to search Nurse, and then with the secondary part of the effect you want to send the Nurse to the graveyard. Now next thing you want to do is, since Kitchen and Parlor are both level 4 lower dragons, we can go into Strike a Dragon. Now from here we want to search out the Rokket Field Spell, and from there you can activate your Monster Reborn. Now with this we want to target Nurse, because on the summon of Nurse you get to summon a second Dragonmaid from, you can summon another Dragonmaid from the graveyard, which is going to be that first Dragonmaid we summoned. This part here we don't really need to do, it's kind of optional, so most of the time I kind of don't, but it doesn't really matter. So from here activate Nurse's effect to summon Kitchen. It doesn't really matter where these 2 go because we're going to be using them for Guard Dragon combos. So from here we want to turn the Striker Dragon and any other Dragonmaid, doesn't matter which, into Dragoonary Romulus. Now with Romulus, what you want to do is you want to add this Dragoonary Equip card. Now the reason you want to add this is essentially what it does is that you can equip it to a Dragoonary monster on the field, which in this case is Romulus, and then you can activate its effect to equip Phalanx from your deck. Now this card is essentially the only break in the deck, because you don't really want to see this in your opening hand, because otherwise you can't resolve this. And why Phalanx is so good is you can activate his effect to add to summon himself out right here, and then from this point on, what you can see here is we can actually set up for a Guard Dragon combo, right? So what we want to do is we want to send doesn't matter which one, into LP and summon Pisty. right here. So now from here on in, the combo can go into two different ways. What you want to do with LP is you've got a choice here where if you want to end on Hope Harbinger, with LP you want to summon Galaxy Eyes Spiral Dragon. If you want to end on Borrowed Savage, you want to summon Rocket Tracer. So for the sake of this combo, I'll go into the Hope Harbinger because that's generally the better setup anyway, since you want to protect the Goliath from being attacked once it comes out from Hermetic Seals, since it does only have 0 attack points. So from here, you link those two off into Hermetic Seal into the zone, although it doesn't technically matter, it just means that you can open up more zones. Now from here, you want to activate Pisty, and here it doesn't really matter what dragon you summon, so for this sake we'll just summon Phalanx. And then what you can do here is that since we control 2 or more dark dragons, dark or light dragons, we can summon the Galactic Spiral Dragon and then activate his effect to make all monsters on the field level 8. Now from here, as you can see, you can actually go into Hope any rank 8, which in this case is the Hope Harbinger. And then that's our board right there. So what this board essentially does is that your opponent cannot play the game. The first card that they use, you just bounce back with Heretic Seal, and then the Heretic Seal will float into the Goliath, which stops them from going to their extra deck, and then Hope Harbinger will stop any spells, and if they try to attack it, you can redirect it to Hope Harbinger. So that's the first setup. Now for the second combo, this is what happens when you open the standard 2-card combos, so the Dragonmaid plus any monster reborn, and away into Rocket Tracer. So in this case, I'll just be using Dragon Shrine to send Absurata Dragon, which will search it out. So I'll go through the same combos, so to Kitchen, add Nurse, and then send Nurse to the graveyard as well. Then you want to go into Striker Dragon, which will search out our Rocket Field spell. Next, we use our Monster Reborn to bring back Nurse. Doesn't really matter where they go, and doesn't really matter there. And then you want to use Nurse's summon effect to summon up the Dragonmaid, the first Dragonmaid essentially. From here, you want to go into Romulus. So it's essentially the same combo really. It's just at some point we're gonna be using these 2 cards to make Savage, but for the most part it's completely identical. So use Romulus, add the Dragoon equip spell, then equip it to Romulus. Next, go to here. Phalanx, summon Phalanx, and then we're gonna be back at our Guard Dragon board, essentially. Cool, here we go. So at this point nothing here really changes because we have drawn away into Galactic Spiral Dragon. If you didn't draw into Rocket Tracer, if you draw into Galactic Spiral Dragon, then we would be summoning Tracer here instead, but since we didn't, we just gotta change it up a little bit. So from here, we'll go into Galactic Spiral Dragon. So this way, we just get him into the graveyard. Now from here, what we want to do is we still want to make Heretic Seals here. And now, from this point on, you can continue doing the combo here. So it really doesn't change much at all, to be honest. It's completely the same. Like I said, the only difference is if you open a way into your Rocket combo afterwards, because then you can just do it at the end. Because once you start doing the Rocket stuff and activate Rocket Tracer's effect, you will be locked into just Darks in your extra deck, which limits what you can do, and you won't be able to go into Hope Harbinger. So that's why you want to do all of this stuff first, just so that you don't lock yourself out of going to Hope Harbinger. And then after that, you can just start fiddling around with the Rokket stuff. So from here, so you just be careful not to negate that. Synapse Router Dragon. Then since he got sent to the graveyard, you can search for any Rokket. And then from here, we can activate Rokket Field Spell. Don't negate that. Activate it to summon the Rokket Tracer from our hand. Doesn't really matter where we summon it. And then from here, you can just use Rokket Tracer's effect to pop either LP or Pisty. I typically go for LP for Pisty because you don't really need it too much. And from here, it doesn't really matter which one you summon. I usually summon Silver Rokket because sometimes Magna Rokket does come up where you can pop a card, and this guy just doesn't really do much. And then what that does is it allows us to go Synchro Summon into our Borrowload Savage Dragon. And now since we've sent Romulus to graveyard, we can equip the Romulus over to Savage, and now he's got 2 negates. So now with this board setup, you've got Omni Negate essentially. You've got a bounce that goes into a Goliath, and then you've got your Hope Harbinger which protects the Goliath. So from this board is much stronger than the first 2-card combo board. And essentially means that if they have, say, a Mystic Mind plus another way to start going, you can just stop it twice or whatever. Still loses to Dark Royal no more, unfortunately, and Nibiru does completely crush this board. However, if you did hold on to your field spell plus a way into Rokket Tracer like I did until the very end, there's a good chance that they might have used the Nibiru already to stop you from doing the full combo. So in that sense, you can at least in that case, if they do stop you from doing the full combo, you can at least end on the Borrowload Savage Dragon with 2 negates, which for some decks might be a bit hard to play around, especially if you know when and where to negate. So that'll essentially wrap things up. Now there are other ways to do the combo, but for the most part those 2 are the really most basic ways to do this full combo, and depending on, you know, circumstances will change in how you chain the combos up depending on what hand traps they use and when they stop you, and also it heavily depends on your hand, of course. So but for the most part it's still the same thing. So that'll essentially do it. So I hope you guys like this video, and leave a like and subscribe.